I cut that out a little too early. Hey, Noah and Nick, thank you guys for the subs. 9 months for Noah and 3 months for Nick. That's pretty awesome. That's like super awesome. I'm looking up something really quick because I want to just make sure I'm right about this. Hold on. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. So I've heard complaints about this guy. Hey, it's not squeaking as bad today. It's got a little squeak going on. And I was like, what would be a good mic thing to get instead? A mic arm? I was wrong. It's not $500, but it's $320 to get a mic arm that doesn't squeak. I'll put this in here. Plus, you have to get a mount because that thing either just drills right through your desk or you can hang it off the side of your desk. But the mount is like another $40, $50. Unreal. How much this stuff costs is unreal. And this is the only place you can buy it from. I can't find anywhere else that sells these things. So we'll see. I'm going to WD-40 the bejesus out of this thing. And if that doesn't work, I guess we'll take a dive and buy more equipment for this place. Which is really weird because I thought I had everything I needed for equipment, but there's two things that we could, I guess, upgrade. One is this Squeak Boy here. And the other, the camera that I'm using right now, it's good, but apparently the Sonys are a lot better. So I just gotta put all the money out into this thing and just hope to God get it back. What am I gonna do with a mic arm in the future? Well, I guess the plus side is I could take this one back home and have an at-home stream setup as well as an in-office one. You feel like you can make one for $40 from Home Depot? You probably could, but the main thing about that bigger one is it holds the position really well and all that stuff. I'm trying to say things for it to make it less bad. Oh, and I've got to get a better tripod for my camera because watch this, just a little shaky boy. That's from actual shaking, but when I type, it shakes too. So it's like a mini earthquake the whole time. So I don't have a lot of time tonight to do a lot of things to the app, but what I wanted to do is just get one more thing working. And so we can talk a lot this stream. I think this could be a good talking stream. Let me just jump in to see what we're going to work on today. So we got the dashboard here working. We have this point system, that all the redemptions here and all the codes for the redemptions. We'll do this in view, I hope. So I'm not sure how to wire that up yet, but I imagine like you'd hit the redeem button, spend the points, and then we could pop a modal or something to say, here's your code. And then it will show up down here too as a list of redemptions. We got the dashboard done too, which is sort of like this balance of points and how you lost your points and how you got them. We're going to leave out the token stuff for now. And really what we have left to do here is we have 2 pages. One is the settings page and the other is the ways to earn. I feel like we'll smash out the ways to earn today because it's just copy, and maybe we can get the settings done as well. I've got about 2 hours and 20 minutes. This will be fun. So Robert, yes, did I get any investment or I bootstrap it myself? Totally bootstrapped. We're in for about, well, it's shorter now, but we decided to work on this for 2 years. So we have set aside the money to work on it for 2 years. I say set aside the money. That's not true. My money was in the market, and the market took a nasty, nasty dive a couple months ago, and it still hasn't recovered yet. But we're committed to paying these guys for a couple of years and paying for the activities in the business for a couple of years. Trying to think if there's any other pieces there. We did have partners that were involved, and they were going to invest half the expense costs outside of the equipment costs. So that would have helped, but they had to back out. So we're kind of just doing it on our own now. But I don't want to do it bare bones. I'm trying to do it with a decent amount of force, because my hypothesis is that in about a year, we'll start to carve into the monthly expenses a little bit. And 2 years from now, we'll actually be able to repay the investment that I've made, just parts of it, and be good to start growing by then. So like if I just lay out and don't include this in the video for God's sake, Rob or Zach or whoever's going to edit it. If I just lay out like what we spent to get this started, we bought this house here that was like a 6-figure purchase. We bought a bunch of equipment here. I think it was like 3 high-end computers, desks, chairs. We furnished the place. We spent a month fixing this place up because it was really in bad shape. Painted, put carpet down, the whole thing, made it feel like a nice place to come to work. And then we have variable costs every month for marketing. We have some fixed costs for hosting and internet providers and things like Adobe. So it's a manageable burn at this point, but the initial push was, more than 6 figures to get it started. But now our burn rate is, I think, just south of 10K a month. But again, I'm looking at this like any business you start, unless you're, cutting hair or something like that, or jumping right into like, what would be another thing that you could just immediately make money? Maybe like retail, you can make money really quick. I'm fully expecting to shell money out for like 6 to 12 months and just eat the costs for 6 to 12 months. Cause this is something I genuinely want to do. I know like Noah's working with us now. He genuinely wants to do it. It's like a passion thing. Rob, it's a passion thing. Zach, it's a passion thing. So that's what I'm mostly excited about, is that this is like, for everybody involved, very much tapping into our passion. And you can't really put a price tag on that. Like, it's good to do the thing in your life that you want to do, Oh no, you're thinking about getting a new chair. What ones did I get? I got these crappy chairs. We bought most of our stuff from Autonomous, which is like this middleman furniture company. The desks, I totally recommend the desks. They're awesome. Let me see if I can find them. How do you make this so hard to do? Is it because you're tiny? You think you're on a tablet? Yep, you thought you're on a tablet, so I don't apparently need buttons on a tablet. Oh, they sell mattresses too. Perfect. Where am I looking? Desks. Show me the standing desks. And it's funny, I don't really even use the standing stuff, but I know those guys do. We got these guys. They're nice. They're real nice. Like, if you're thinking about buying anything from these dudes, let me know. I've got a discount code that I can give you. /share and earn code. What else did we get? We got the chairs from these guys too. I am not a fan of the chairs. We got these ergo chairs. So I'll tell you why I don't like them. They're hard as all hell to adjust, and they don't feel like a proper ergo chair, an ergonomic chair. They feel more like a cheap version of one. And for $319, you get what you pay for, right? But you can get a better deal if you buy the green ones. Because look at those gray ones are $30 more. Just buy the green one. If I were recommending a chair to you, Noah, I will tell you the one that I like. It's going to be more expensive, but it's the best chair I've ever used. And I buy these things every time I have a new place. Like if I'm working with somebody and I'm working in their office, I will buy this chair. If they don't have one of these, I'll buy it and send it to that office and use it. So I use the Aerons. These are amazing, but you can't just get a standard Aeron. You've got to get, they call them like the bells and whistles version or something like that. So you want the size C because, it's for big boys. I don't really care about the back support. I usually just do that one, that little guy right there. This posture fit one, I've never used it. Just a little bit to push the bottom of the chair out is good though. You want to get the tilt limiter because that lets you kind of like move forward and backwards just a little bit. You see I can move back on this kind of nicely. And the arms, you have to get the fully adjustable arms. Have to. That's a must. Because the arms, you can't really see my chair, but there's times when you want stuff clipped in. There's times when you want the arms a little bit lower, a little bit higher, depending on what kind of work you're doing. And you can adjust them in like a second. So that stuff's important. Leather arm pads, pretty important too. The standard ones are sort of like hard plastic. I don't know. The casters, I don't think really matter. But now you're in for $1,200 for a chair, or you go on eBay. and if you're to like look up fully loaded Aeron, you can get these things pretty cheap. So that's these will be from office resellers. There you go, right there. A fully loaded, don't care about the color of it, $550. So you're in for a little bit more than you would for the autonomous chair, but that's it. I mean, so the other thing to consider is that oh yeah, look at these at $450. Like they get cheap. I think the last time I bought an Aeron on eBay, it was like $350. Now here's the thing though, is that the Aeron's just reversioned. So these are version 2 of the Aerons. You'll see like they look a little bit different on the bottom. That hardware down there is way less complicated now. And apparently like the meshing, the material they use for the mesh got upgraded. So it's I don't know if they have a close up of it, but the mesh is now super easy to clean and all this kind of stuff like that. Like, so it's also breathes a little bit better. It's a little bit less squishy. But I mean, I've had this chair I'm on right now for like 5-6 years. It's fine. It's perfect. Like I never get tired in it. You kind of don't get, it's not a comfortable chair per se, but it's like a chair that you can sit in all day and not realize you're sitting. And let me check. The other one I would check out, if you have a showroom near you, I've heard people either like the Aerons, or they like the, oh boy, we got one of those in the other room. They like the, it's like, oh geez, it's got some weird stupid name. Well, Aeron's a weird stupid name. Embody, that's the thing. So either an Aeron or an Embody. The Embodies, I've never sat in one, so I would want to sit in one first. And I think the other company, if you have it near you, that's worth checking, is a company called Steelcase. We had some Steelcase stuff at my last office, my last dev office, and we had a Steelcase store right down the road. Like we could walk there 2 minutes. These guys they're worth checking. If you have one of these next to you, go check them out, because they don't look like a really super comfortable chair, but Steelcase is ultra high quality. And I think that the chair I'm in right now, this autonomous one, is like a cheap version of these Steelcase chairs, and they're expensive, but it's your back, right? Like if you can't have a comfortable chair, you're never going to work very well. That's not really that expensive, $352. You're gonna add some things to it. Let me see your setup, Noah. Yeah, I think Aeron is the best. That's awesome. That's so cool. Your computer case is amazing. That's my favorite part of your setup. Is that a DX Racer chair? Because you made a mistake there. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Don't buy a DX Racer, for God's sake. That's a really nice setup though. That monitor is super far away, but that's fine. We got to paint your walls, man. We got to get you some paint. But that looks really, I love it, like your little IKEA thrown together hack, because that's the cool thing is like IKEA, you can really express yourself with IKEA if you look at it a different way. If you look at it like I'm assembling furniture from parts rather than buying whatever they're selling. Oh, Lorenzo, I think I know the chair you're talking about. I feel like I do. That's the one on the Joe Rogan? Like Joe Rogan podcast chair. Because he uses those and you're just like, oh, come on. This thing? Is it this thing? People really swear by these. But I imagine that is the worst thing you could ever sit on. What is it called? Capisco? Capisco chair fat guy. I want to see a really fat guy on one of those. That guy. I want that guy in that hat. Yeah, they don't show fat guys. They just show these like skinny people in it. Show me the fat guy. Show me the guy that's like 325 pounds, 5 foot tall. They never show that. Let's see what's behind him. Yeah, I've seen this before. I like that. I just have all these books behind me that I've read some of them, but most of them are just for effect. I don't know. I think I like the setup I have right now, but it's not very pretty. I don't have a picture of it yet. We'll probably be changing the stream whatever window a little bit. Right now my camera is like here, so it's off center, and you kind of catch me off center. I want to line it up so it's right in front of me, which is right there. But I don't know if I really like the bookcase being so dark or whatever, so angled and weird looking. I'd rather that's like a flat surface in the background. I feel like it just looks a little bit odd behind me. And we've got to do something with the lighting on it to make it a little bit less bright. Oh, Noah, look, if you have a bookcase, you got to do what we did back there. We just super glued all the books down. We never get earthquakes here, but I feel like that was we just wanted them to stay in place. You're never going to read them. They're just so people like, oh, look at this guy. He reads. All right, let's get into it because I don't have a ton of time. So we got a page here. First of all, let me refresh this. So it's auto loading the redeem points. We'll get into this in just a second. Let me just set this up. So we're using what are we using to set that jQuery? Oh boy. One day away from the code, and oh boy is the first thing I say when I look at it. All right, let's get it to the earning page. Let me open up the earning page, how to earn. Okay. So we wanted how to earn .hitable. There we go. Save that. And did it not do the thing? It did not. So we have to go to the, why didn't it do that? How to earn, come on. This one monitor thing. It's catching up right now. There we go. It should be that thing. Viewport, say nav button. Data loads equals how to earn. Oh, come on, you stupid. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, XY. You guys are smarter than I am today. All right, let me close that. Let's get rid of the chart thing. Let's get rid of that. Leave the CSS open. And let's open this up again. Up here, though. Blip. Get rid of well, we probably should leave one of these open. We'll leave dashboard content open. Flash test can go away. Let me make sure the flash test is still working. Yeah. Still looks good. That's just these are just messages that we'd put at the top if we needed to say something to somebody. I think we're going to get rid of the token thing for now, just to get it out of the design. I will tell you guys, having your own token, it's super questionable. Super questionable from a standpoint of like, could it get you in trouble? It probably could. And I think we're going to revisit the token thing a little bit later. We may in fact roll the token, but it's just this whole idea of giving the token out and then maintaining the cost of the token it's not nil. There's a pretty decent amount of money we're going to have to stick into it just to have a meme feature. But the points will still be there, right? So we're probably still going to have token like features available, but I'm not sure yet how it's going to roll out. Hey, Drev. Okay, so we need a little page here that's going to say how to earn the points. And what I'm thinking is we can try to make it look really pretty, but I feel like I want this to be static. So we can just design it in. I kind of want it to be like really simple. Just to say, okay, there are points that you can get and this is the way you get them. Right? Like let me just list this out a little bit. I think we have a notepad file and we can just open that up for, yeah, Redemptions has it. Let me separate this out a little bit. So how to get the points. Well, there's going to be an extension you can install. So maybe we should look at it like that. Through the extension, there's ways to get points by by participating in Twitch, on Twitch. You can get points, and by participating on Discord, you can get points. I don't know if that covers every bit of it, but it covers a lot of it. I want to make sure we can give points to guys that do bug tracking for us, because we can't really like pay you, but we could give you, hey, for every bug that you submit, we could say, oh yeah, okay, we accept that bug. That's 100 points. And that'll add up, right? You do 10 bug submissions and they're all accepted. Like they're not just garbage submissions. We could say, oh yeah, 10 points, or 10 times 100. That's 1,000. 1,000 will get you like a t-shirt, So maybe that could be another piece, by helping us launch products, ? So in the extension, we are on dangerous territory with the extension. We were originally going to make it so you could watch YouTube. We would track your YouTube watch time, and depending on your watch time, we would award points based on this. YouTube doesn't explicitly say don't do that, but I feel like YouTube's going to explicitly say we're going to ban your account because of that. So we're going to avoid that whole situation and just say the extension awards a chance at points daily. And that would be anywhere from 1 to, I don't know, what did we put up here? Maybe 1 to 1,000 points plus a jackpot. Jackpot increases by 1 for every spin. Oh boy, that'll be crazy. Okay, we'll figure it out. And essentially this is gonna be the kind of gist of it. Every day you can open the extension and spin a wheel that determines a prize. You'll travel. A lot of YouTube use the comment section to pick rewards. Yeah, but we're doing it a different way. This is where we get into trouble, is that we're literally saying if you hit like or comment or anything like that, we'll reward all those actions. And that might not be okay. I could see why YouTube wouldn't want us to do it. I will have to get a confirmation from YouTube. Once I have somebody to talk to there, I will need an email. I will literally need an email from them, like saying, yes, what you want to do is okay. Because we're going to say like, oh, well, if you have an extension installed and you're watching one of our videos and you watch the whole thing, we'll give you 1 point per minute watched at the end. Okay. So it's a little shaky as to whether or not that's okay to do. I would love to build it. We'll already have the extension installed. And if it's a thing that we can do and they say it's okay, we'll write it in. If they say it's not okay, we didn't have it in, so we don't have to pull it out. All right. So by participating on Twitch, now this is a question. Do we reward chat lines? Don't know. Like, I think it could get dangerous. What I'd prefer to do is just manual rewards issued by a bot, by a moderator, or maybe not moderator. Do we have anything above moderator? Let me just look really quick. We have broadcaster. No, well, I guess we'll just say the moderators are all allowed to do it. Manual rewards issued by a moderator using a bang OmatumBucks command. Probably should say rewards can be issued for helping, for being helpful. That seems about okay to me. Again, on Twitch, we have this problem that they don't want us to take things like channel points and convert them into other points. So we can't do a cash in where you like, oh, if I hit the button that redeems 10,000 channel points, I can turn that into 10,000 OmatumBucks, because Twitch was very clear that that's going to get your ass banned. So let's not do that. Let's not deplatform ourselves over a meme app. So if we did do chat lines, I think what we would do here is for every 10 chat lines equals 1 point or something like that, because it means you guys are engaged and you're part of the community. So we're trying to just make sure people that are helping to form the community get rewarded for doing that. rewarded, acknowledged. I don't know what the right word is. Something in there. So by participating on Discord, it's again, manual rewards issued by a staff member using an OmatumBucks command. But I think we could also do, and this would say like any amount. I think we could do manual rewards issued by a member to via thanks, because I see this on another server I'm on, which would just give 1 point per thank. So you can help people out in our Discord. They can acknowledge that help by being like, thanks at person. And a bot will read that and then give them a point. Helping us launch products. We'd probably do this through one of these two mechanisms here. But maybe our backend has a way to clear this up and make it automated. But let's just do, for helping us launch products, submitted bugs when accepted equal some amount of points. That could be, yeah, that could be good. For the extension too, I wonder, I'm jumping around. I wonder if we could do like, 100 points to install extension. That also may, let me take that back. That may be a problem. Google might be like, wait a second, you're rewarding people with a cash value for installing a thing. What are some other things we could do? One of the big things we have trouble with here is promotions. Like, no joke. This is a big problem we have. So if I go on Twitter, this is the problem. I post a thing onto Twitter that says, like, here's a video that we shot, right? And these guys spent a long time on this video. And I have no followers. I have like the tiniest amount of followers. But I would love to be able to say like, hey, could you guys please go hit these buttons and help promote this some way or another? I just don't know exactly how to pull that off. But that would be something we just want your help with. So I would love to be able to reward you directly for hitting the button. But a big thing is like some sort of promo, like some sort of promo rewards. Because that's our hardest problem right now is like we're trying to grow a channel and it's growing well. Like I'm pretty happy with our growth rate, but I also know that we could grow faster. And it's just a matter of saying things like, hey, you guys, if you're watching right now and you like this, like hit the follow button or, go to our YouTube and subscribe there. That happens, but we want you to tell other people too. So if you like the stuff, like tell other people. And I'd love to be able to reward people to say like, oh, you got us, you got us some opportunity to be promoted. Like here's a hat, here's a t-shirt, something like that. But I'm not sure what that looks like. Cause listen, if I have 150 followers on Twitter, I'll get like 1 click. I can't be giving out t-shirts for 1 click, but it would just be helpful. And it's not even just products, products/promote the content. Can you guys think of anything else that you may just on this in the back of your mind say, oh, I'd love to, there's a way I want to contribute and I'd like to be acknowledged for that contribution. I can add it to the list and we'll make sure it tracks it. Because if not, this is probably my list. Could make points for the interactions be relative to the total number of followers. Ooh. Like, how would you give me an example? Would you say like, if you have 10,000 followers and you tweet, we'll give you 100 points or something, or 1,000 points? Okay. We'd have to manually verify that, but that's not a big deal because like you just come to Discord, say you did a thing, provide proof of it, and we'll do a thing. on our end to say, here's your OmatumBucks. We could even have a channel that's just like all dedicated to that. That could be really good. So let's see. Promo rewards based on some scale. Twitter. Let's work this out. Twitter. What would it be? 1,000 followers equals 100 points. That could get us in trouble, but I think that might be okay. I give you $1. Right. No, that's a good point. Is that you could also say connect in your Twitter. But I don't want people. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want a system where somebody can just keep smacking buttons and making points occur. because I don't want to be in a spot where I'm like, guys, yeah, I can't afford to pay out these 500 t-shirts that this one guy earned in a week. Where else do you do promo though? Like, the web is such a weird place nowadays. I don't even know where people promote things. I don't think, I'll just throw this out there, I don't think putting a link in a Discord server is a thing. Instagram, people promo on Instagram for YouTube stuff? Is that for real? For real? Reddit? Yeah, Reddit's a big one. I will pay you, I'll give you 1 point or 10 points per upvote on Reddit. Those are worth a lot. Those are worth a ton, man. I'd have no problem. Maybe cap it out. Do like a logical cap. We'll cap it out at 5,000. I think any one of these will cap at 5,000 because I used to do stuff where we would pay influencers for posting, and like, look, you don't want to be paying more than $50 for a post for pretty much anybody. Facebook is still a thing. I wouldn't know how to do the Facebook thing, the Facebook check. Set a base, add a cap, and only allow the largest point offer. So if I have 1,000 Twitter followers, I could get 50 points for a like or 100 points for a retweet, but not both. So I don't want, okay. I don't want to be, it would help. So if they connected their Twitter, I would say, dude, Noah, I think anything where we're rewarding interactions is going to be a problem. I think Twitter doesn't give a shit if you pay somebody $10 to do something. They will give a shit if you're saying like, oh, I paid 50 people a total of $10 to hit a like or a retweet or something like that. I think that's sort of our general rule here is we can't do anything that would game a system or make the system lose credibility. So yeah, if we do 1,000 followers is 100 points, that's easy because it's almost just like, yeah, paying an influencer. Instagram, I don't know how Instagram, is there really coding Instagrams? It's been a long time since I've been here. Coding people, I don't know. All right, see you later, Empathy. Not your type of crowd. That's too bad. So we've got, yeah, it looks like there's some people here. 146,000. I just don't understand how this would work. Yeah, right. Risky scroll today. I don't understand how that's going to work. But Instagram followers are worthless. I would say that's a order of magnitude less. What about LinkedIn? LinkedIn, it's the engagement on that platform is so low. I've got, I don't know, 3,000 people I'm connected to, and I post something there and it's just crickets. So I wouldn't be able to do anything there, I don't think. It's not the right crowd. People don't go to LinkedIn to go watch content. The Reddit one is really interesting to me because we have a lot of trouble on Reddit. Reddit doesn't allow self-promotion. So, well, for the most part, it doesn't allow self-promotion. So that's actually a pretty big one. What's hard on Reddit is if you put something on Reddit in the wrong place, it gets downvoted into oblivion, right? So those are really tough. Like you'd almost like funny content belongs one place, developer related content belongs another. And I should be really clear. This is for a Reddit post. It's better to issue points for social interactions that can only be redeemed for entries into a giveaway. That way the cap is only based on how many things you are giving away. I'm having trouble following that. So these are all promo rewards, right? This isn't so much about interaction. This is about getting our links out there and things like that. God, Instagram is so worthless. No. I don't. A buck for that. I would cap that out low too. Cap at 1,000. Cap. And same thing with Twitter. I think Twitter has to cap lower. But Reddit can get you a lot of legitimate traffic. That way they can spam it out to as many people as possible as opposed to giving up after 1,000. Oh, hold on. This is the cap is per post. Not so what we're saying here is like we'd allow you to gain 10 points per upvote. So if you had 500 upvotes, you would get 5,000 points. But if you had 1,000 upvotes, you'd get 5,000 points. Does that make sense? So it's just per post. So you come in here, you say, hey, I posted this thing. It gets a bunch of upvotes. We watch it for some certain amount of time. I guess you'd say after 1 day or something like that on Reddit. And if we look at it a day later and you say, okay, that was my post, and okay, there's your points. So you think promo points are only good for redeeming entries and giveaways instead of accruing points for a ton of stuff and have 100 people at the cap you're setting to have to dish out 50 hats. It just seems like an extra level of complexity in the system. So you're thinking we have another thing called like promo points. All right, let me map that out. Okay, so promo points are not OmatumBucks. And I mean, what could we do with promo points? Because I'm doing it up here as like a dollar amount because I feel like 100 points is, or 1 point is 1 penny. So let me just do that. Roughly, that's kind of where we came in on. So promo points could be, well, we have to figure out how we do this. What could you, promo points can be used for? So you're saying have a totally different thing. Could you trade in 100 for an extra spin? Is that something you could do on that little wheel? You know, that like, I'm going to have this little wheel thing that you can spin in the extension. So, okay, I want to trade in 100 promo points to get an extra spin. And that spin is going to reward anywhere from a penny to a jackpot. But it'll probably, being realistic, it'll probably land between a penny and $1. Now, this is going to be a totally different thing, though, because you're going to have to say, for the promo stuff, that's a totally different category here. And maybe with promo, it's manually issued on Discord with a promo. I mean, what would it be? Omatum promo bucks command. So you'd say, okay, this is the thing I did. Somebody looks at it. One of our staff members looks at it. They say, okay, Omatum promo bucks at the person. And then the amount in numbers is a little, it's a little convoluted, but it could make it fun because then you have a sub currency. So the promo points, trade in 100 for an extra spin. I mean, you could say for giveaways, you could buy tickets with it, I guess. Yeah, we're deep in. It's points inside of points. Inside of points that are also inside of points that you can then use to buy tickets that could equal points or they could equal things. All the promo points I think are manual. Yep, I think that's the thing. Because I think to set up a system that we don't think people could game would be too hard. Because it'd be really easy to say like, oh, the system awards for every tweet I do every day. Once a day, it'll do that. Yeah. Manual gate is what's going to stop a huge thing on real money. Yep. But I still want to reward people. I mean, it takes a few minutes to do any of these things here. Travelo, by the time it becomes a thing we need to scale, if we had that many people redeeming rewards, I would pay a community manager to do it all manually while we figure out how to automate it. Because all these things can be automated. Twitter, we have an API there that we can ask if the person's posted something. You see, connect in your Twitter, and now we can check that. Instagram, we have an API we can check. Reddit, we can do the same thing. Like just OAuth grants on all these things. Then somebody says, oh, that's the thing that I did for your company. Then we run that against a bunch of links. If those links match, blah, blah, blah. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't be too hard, but it would take time. It would take probably a couple of days, if not a week, to write all the code to lock this down. And then we'd have to also come up with all these rules around it, you know? So you think if it's manual, it's fine to just issue OmatumBucks? Because then we just don't do this. Because I feel like all this stuff is what you could spend OmatumBucks on. You could spend OmatumBucks. I guess if you wanted to, you could trade in 10 OmatumBucks to try to buy another spin on the wheel of fun. Because you have a chance to get more than the 1 point or 10 points back. And the same thing, like we could say we have a giveaway that we're doing. Use your OmatumBucks to buy tickets in the giveaway. Kind of like raffle tickets. Oh, no. Oh, no, I do not want to do this automatically. So, like, the only stuff that's happening automatic-ish is, like, the extension, and then everything else is manual. If you use promo points just for this stuff. I don't know if we need promo points, though. I really don't. Why not give somebody... If somebody had 10,000 followers on Twitter, you don't want to give them 1,000 points, which is $10, to encourage them, you know, to promote one of our pieces of content. And I would say that this promo stuff is sort of like restricted to either product promo or YouTube promo. Okay. So like you can't, I don't want the Twitch stream being promoted, as dumb as this sounds. I like you guys right now. I like the size of the Twitch channel. I think we have around like 15, 20 people watching right now. I like this size. I do not want it to be 180 people and become unmanageable and make it so we can't have conversations. And I'm just staring at like a wall of scrolling text the whole time, you know? So let's get rid of this promo points idea just because it's a second layer that I think we don't need. So I try on sub only mode and become that guy. You have to pay money if you want to talk. No. That's such a weird, it's a weird thing. You either stop streaming as the guy who doesn't do that, or you stream long enough to become that guy. Isn't that what America is? Yeah, I guess so. All right, let me just stick a pin in this. Okay, and let's think about how this will look. So we'll have these three primary, like, big pieces. Manual. Okay. And then we have this second sort of tier that's a little more subjective. Granted, this stuff is all subjective, but this is even more so. If we could figure out anything else for helping us launch products, that would be cool. I don't think we want to do that chat line thing. Let's get rid of that. That can get gamed real quick. I I don't want people to feel like they have to chat to earn points. If you guys want to just lurk out, that's the best kind of thing you want to do. That's totally cool too. I think what's been really interesting doing this on Twitch for a couple of years is that there are people that are very vocal and helpful, and then there's people that sit back, and then something comes up and they've been watching for a long time, and I can help with this part, and they do, but they don't chat that much at all. Cool. The old-fashioned invite scheme for new apps like Gmail did. Oh, yeah. Because part of the idea of this is that your OmatumBucks will act as currency on products. So when you sign up, you'll be able to connect your OmatumBucks cash account and use that as a way to pay for products or to get a coupon for a product or something like that. So this could, in fact, be our affiliate currency, right? I wonder, do we want to do that on this product too? We could say, like, for every person that you invite into the OmatumBucks system, we'll give you some points for that as well. That'll just be hell. You guys are going to be inviting all your 20 fake accounts. I know you will. Noah is going to spin up like 50 different VPNs. Just start cranking out Gmail accounts. And that can also be, so usually when you do invites, you can always do, there has to be a triggering event. So it could be like, you invite them, but in order for the triggering event to occur, they have to add a payment method or something like that. But I like it. I like the fact of just putting it in the list, like, because it's easy enough to do. What else goes into product launches that we would maybe need help with? I don't know. I'm also curious too on the extension. We haven't done the extension design yet, so there are things I might add to this to further encourage people to watch. So like it might be just some for later ideas. I think we could gamify some of the actions inside of the extension. Sort of like there's 10 things we want you to do today inside the extension. If you do all 10, boom, another wheel spin. And those things might be like, I don't know, view the list of new content or something. View the list of tweets, view the list of new videos. But it's all got to be taking place inside the extension and not checking activity. It can't be like You know, you can tell somebody go on Greg's Twitter and see if there's anything that you like there, but we can't tell them to go on Greg's Twitter and hit like on everything he's posted. I don't want to force people into doing stuff. In fact, like on YouTube, I hope when you guys watch a video, if you don't like it, hit the dislike button. You know? YouTube doesn't care. YouTube does not use that for anything. They actually see it as a positive indication that you were angry enough to hit a dislike button. Okay. I think this is good. Good evening, Yemenish. So let me start getting some code in place. About an hour and 30 minutes to do this. So we'll just do this big content panel thing, and then inside of that, we'll do a how to group. That sounds horrible for purposes of anything but this. We'll do a group title, and then group description, and then a points schedule, I guess, would be it'd be like a list. And that would say, like, here's the thing you can do, and this is how many points you can earn. Oh, Yevanish. Let's not get into this argument again. Like, very briefly, I can get into it. I do whatever the hell I want to do in my code. You do whatever the hell you want to do in your code. This is prototype code, but even if it wasn't, jQuery is perfectly fine. And it actually does some things really nicely. It's very quick. It's a very quick thing to work on or work with. Like, how many lines is it going to take you to write that in vanilla? Can you do it that quick, that concise, that easy to read? What about just triggering a click on something? That quick, that tiny, that easy to select stuff? Well, you got query selector now. So there's probably some things in here that but still, just saying. Come on. So inside of the list items, we'll probably have two spans. We'll class out the left one as the item, and then the right one as the amount. There you go, Saronis. Hey, look, you should not feel bad about using jQuery. If anybody gives you crap about anything that you're using, and it's and like they have nothing better to do with their time. They have nothing better to do with their time. They're really good at what they do, and they're trying to make you feel stupid by them feeling superior because they, like, I don't know, maybe it's the guy that writes JavaScript at MDN or something like that. Or they're just looking for some reason to jump on you. And yeah, people like to do that. They like to just, people won't give you positive feedback. They will give you shit much easier than they will give you positive feedback, at least on the web. So really at the end of the day, nobody gives a shit what you write anything in as long as it works and as long as it's relatively quick. This whole notion that those things can't be achieved with jQuery is crazy, and they can't be achieved with stuff like PHP is crazy. And the whole evangelism of these other tools is just, it's annoying and it's gross, and yeah. Sorry. It's just a sore spot for me. I see too many people get discouraged by it, and I think it's stupid part of the developer culture and designer culture too. It's like people have to join these stupid teams of like, oh, you're using Illustrator, you should be using Affinity. Oh, you're using Affinity, you should be using Figma. Oh, you're using that, you should be using that. I mean, there's tools that are inherently really bad at the job. But when people are debating tools that are all good at the job and made for the job that you're doing, that's crazy to me. like these guys that are like Vue is better than React, is better than what's that other one? Well, there's there's all these different things, and you're just like, shut the fuck up. Like, like nobody cares. Not once has a 48-year-old non-tech person that uses Airbnb every week viewed source on that thing and been like, oh, these idiots are using whatever the hell they're using over at Airbnb. Oh, look at how good these CSS classes are. Look how easy it is to read this stuff. Nobody looks at that. Your customers don't look at it. All right. So the list items for this. So the item would be called daily spin, and the amount would be 1 to 1,000 points. We could probably do a little header on this, just to title these things out. So the description for the extension, by using our extension daily, by installing and using. Airtable started as a rover site. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Ruby on Rails is, even when people crap on Rails, you're just like, wait, what? Why would you crap on Rails? Like, it's a great thing. I'm going to put a little, this thing here. So if you haven't connected your Twitch, it will tell you. And if you haven't downloaded the extension, it will tell you. So we don't need to say, hit the button here to download it. Bye. All right, so this is where it'll get a little more complicated. We should probably somehow say, like, for example, this would be some stuff like help a user, probably like 1 point, because I can give you guys the same thing. I can give you guys this this ability to say, like, OmatumBucks thanks at person, and we can probably, we can do that for sure. We can say, like, yep, let's just let them get that. We'll connect the two bots together into the one database. Or rather, it'd be bang thanks. Yeah, exactly. Smack a cooldown on it, let it fly. Yep. Let's say for helping me, it'd be like 10 plus. Just totally discretionary. Help me with something huge, I'd say 100 plus. So let's see, participating on Discord. We have actually a really nice Discord link now. I should probably hit ips that thing. I should probably just make that an A block. Make it so you can click out. Save me from a Google. we can, again, we'll just keep adding to this, but it'll at least be something to refer to. All right, participating on Discord, we have this awesome, again, Discordy link now. Which is omatum.chat, which I think is just awesome. I bought that and I just threw a little redirect on it. Okay, by participating in Discord and helping others, you can earn points. So helping a user, yep. So if I don't know on Discord, I don't know if there's not really as many opportunities. See if I can think of another thing that we could put in here. Help Omatum. I would say if something is seen as helpful for us, we would say 50 plus. Like a general rule of thumb. So for this, I don't really know what the points will be yet, but we'll say submitting a bug. And I think we'll need 2 of these. We'll need another thing here for like products you can do it on. And we'll just leave this sort of as a thing where I don't have the systems hooked up yet, nor do we really have a product we want anybody messing on right now. So we'll say, just do this and say, not yet implemented. Not yet. What a class name. Not yet. So back up here for the point schedule. We will do action about submitting a bug. So for submitting a bug, I think easily I give you 50 cents for that. For inviting a user, we probably want some nominal amount, but I would say easily 500 points because that's fairly standard to say, hey, we'll give you a $5 credit or something like that. Towards your subscription. I think we could even go a little bit higher and say 500 to 1,000, depending on the product. And just so we are very clear, an activated user. Okay. I think that's good for that list. Let's do one more. This will be our promo group. Why did I leave that in there? Because I'm an idiot. We do have some products that we could have right now. I don't want to keep that one. The one product we have launched is like bug plug. I do not want to keep, I don't ever want to work on that again. So I'm waiting for a browser API update. Then I'm going to revamp a bunch of stuff there. Because it started, they're starting to build in the ability to just crank screenshots out without an extension. Okay, so how to group title, help us launch products, promote our content. It's a huge help to spread the word about our new content and to amplify the signal of posts we are making. Participation, that sounds so weird. Grassroots promotion helps us to engage a new and larger audience than we could on our own. If you do any of these actions, please notify Omatum staff member on our Discord server in the Claim Bucks channel. Perfect. Let me make that Claim Bucks channel real quick. That's easy. Claim Bucks. Boom. That's easy. So if you guys have something to claim, you just put the link in there. We go and we see that, and bingo bango, we're giving you the rewards. Now, this will have a little bit more. We'll have, for this guy, we don't need the product list here. We're going to need a platform, an action, and a amount, and what else? This would work so much better as a little table. This is a table all day. Let me rewrite it. Just start with the row, and we'll get it in from there. Okay, platform and actions, that'd be like Reddit, and the action would be like post the thing, point conversion, and then a cap. I don't even know if we have to write the word point there. Let me just pull that back. Okay, so same thing. We just copy paste these in, one per row. All right, so what are the different platforms? I think we're gonna, Reddit is the best one. Without a doubt, Reddit is the best one. So submit a new post. I think we're gonna add one more. So the action would be types. So the types of content that we'll cover. And maybe put that right at the end. Because we don't want, right now we're only going to be covering one type of post. So it'd be YouTube link. That's it. We don't want you guys to be like, oh, I want to go promote bug plug somewhere. Again, not yet. But maybe once we have Media Monk, we would say like a product link, and then you go back up here and you find the product list and you say, okay, they want links to those products. Okay, so Reddit, the points cap is 5,000. The conversion is 1 point per, 10 points per upvote. Don't we have that? We do have that little icon. Why don't we use that? Just right off the screen. Because we don't need to see that, Sublime. We'll start with that one. The cap will be a little bit different. We don't need an icon for that, but that'll at least show that. Probably want to go back and stick that in all these other places. This is getting real gross real quick. Okay. Did you ever write code and you just start getting disgusted with yourself immediately? It's like, well, I know what I'm doing. It's not the best way to do it, but it's the way it's being done. I should have done everything as a table. I really should. I think we're going to go back and redo the other ones as tables really quick because the LIs they're not going to look as good as the table displays will. It's weird trying to get an LI to be a table, though. That was just a weird choice. Okay, Twitter, tweet. That's what it's called there, right? Tweet. Is there a Reddit version of that? Is it like a submit a Reddit? Submit a read it? Redo? A redo? Okay, so I had this weird 1 point per 10 followers. A post or a comment. So comments they're harder to gauge, JRev. So we're just saying posts. I think the comments, I mean, we could do that. We could have a second one that, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. So like if you go on Reddit and you find a relevant comment, right? So it can't be spammy. It can't just be like link. I will give you for a comment 1 point per upvote on a comment. It won't get seen by as many people. And the cap is going to be maybe a little bit smaller. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, maybe if it's got a lot of upvotes, it's probably, we'll just say that the cap is still 5,000. But it's got to be a relevant comment. It's really hard for us to do that. It's something that I'm really no good at it. We don't have a Reddit person in-house or anything like that. And it would make a lot of sense, right? That you would say, okay, if there's a conversation taking place where somebody's like, man, I wish I could just find some better developer streams to watch, that would be an easy way for us to have one of you guys be like, oh, they should watch Greg's stream. Like, here's the link for it. But again, YouTube link is what we want. We don't want the Twitch link. I don't want to get into the business of promoting Twitch. I love you guys, but I'd rather people that come want to watch us on Twitch are just people that come in from YouTube content or whatever. So do comments and posts have their own upvotes? Yes. So we could do the same thing, but I think that the thing about a post is worth a lot more, I think, than a comment. Because posts, if they trend, we've had a few of our things trend. It's crazy. It's unreal to watch stuff trend. I'll show you guys what it looks like on a chart. Hold on. It looks like this. You have this 48-hour period, and then it's like, blap, here's a bunch of traffic. Take that. There you go. Crazy. It's freaking bananas. And so that's worth something to us. You don't really get that many subscribers when it trends, but it does happen. It does help. Feels good for the guys in the other room too. Okay, Twitter tweet. So we want to cap this out a little bit smaller, but 1 point per 10 followers. And YouTube link, I think, again, is what we're looking for there. I would almost say a YouTube link with a mention or something. Nah, maybe not. Because, yeah, I would say with a mention. I'm trying to grow that. It's a pain in the ass. You know how you have to grow Twitter? It's crazy. You have to actually use it. You have to get on there and talk to those folks. And 99% of Twitter, I think, is awesome people. It's that other group that's not as awesome. There's some real people that have big followings on there that are just a little off kilter. Let's say that as nicely as I can. Okay. So that's 1 point per 1,000 followers, 100 followers, with a cap at 1,000, and that's got to be a YouTube link in image, I guess, because I don't know how Instagram works. That's how it works, I guess. I know whenever we would pay influencers for that, it was always this weird thing where you'd want them to change the URL on their page because you can't post URLs on Instagram, I don't think. Like you can't post it like per message or something. Something weird like that. Oh, you can now. Okay. What is OmatumBucks? Good question, Zerk. I'm going to send you a link real quick. If you want to catch up on it, I'll give you the link to catch up. We have episodes that come out on this that are way easier to watch than a whole stream. There we go. So the gist of OmatumBucks is it's a loyalty system that we're making. Now it's turning into like sort of an affiliate system to reward you guys for watching our channel and to acknowledge help that you could do to help us grow our company. We are a independent studio and we need all the help we can get. What happened to the previous projects? Which ones, Zerk? There's been a few. Which one do you want to know about? While you ask your question, I'm going to go back and start recoding a little bit of this to be the, what do you call it? The table. Oh, I better do. This is a row. Do I need that? I don't think I need that. Now that I'm looking at it. I think that'll give me what I'm looking for. Oh, geez, I did this. I did this every time. No one saw this. Man, I thought Zerk was going to ask me something, and he just disappeared. I guess it's a weird day for streaming. We had that guy earlier who's like, this is not my thing. I'm out. Which was pretty funny. I've never seen that. I've never seen that happen before. This is like probably my 150th stream. I've never had somebody just say, not my cup of tea. Fuck off. I'll check in tomorrow. I thought that was so funny. Hey, Joe. You wish you were half as good as me. I'm not that good, man. You'll get to where I am in a matter of days. I would tell you don't use Bootstrap. I think Bootstrap, you can use it, but dude, listen, this stuff is it's so much better when you understand how to make this yourself. Because Bootstrap is bananas. It'd be like, here, let me write some Bootstrap code. Bootstrap -- flex 5 -- row -- header Like, let me just add more things. Dash XL to 65, whatever. That's as long as it's gonna be. Content block, no wrap. This is Bootstrap in a nutshell. They try to like, I get what they try to do with it, but I hate it, man. I never ever got into that stuff. I don't know what. I don't know why, but I think it's bananas. Guy, pull these back. You're moving away from frameworks. I suggest you get the hell away from frameworks. Yeah. For CSS at least. I think it's not as hard as people make it out to be. There's a whole lot of people that's how they learn, and so they say, oh, that's how everybody else should learn. And I just don't think that's the thing, man. I hope classing that as body wasn't stupid. Maybe I'll just do a little extra. Try to keep that namespace. So my big tip with CSS, if you're trying to learn it, is you get yourself pictures of websites. Okay, so you can do this right now, Joe. Just screenshot my site right there and then make it. You don't have to use the same graphics, but just screenshot this and then make it. That's how I learned. When I was getting started, I would go from images. And that way I'm not figuring out how to design something. I'm just trying to figure out how to execute it. Everybody I've ever taught how to do CSS, that's the method we go through. I have images for them, but you don't need them. You can just go to a website, snap a screenshot and just remake it, and then close the website. Don't look and see how they did it. Just do it on your own, with your own brain. Because the trick of it is there's 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 10, 100 different ways to pull off the same design. And once you start to get that in your head, and you know, it'll be a lot easier. The problem is you have to make it responsive. Is that where everything breaks down for you, is in the responsive stage? Oh boy. You know, I really should just do that on a thing. That's okay. That's to look at any size. Not true. It has to work. It doesn't have to look good at all the different sizes. And for some cases, it doesn't even have to work, because like there's plenty of places where you just say, "Why the hell are you on this thing on your phone?" and just invalidate the entire user group. But that's legit. I mean, you can say like, I've used apps like that. I'm sure you have too, where you go on a phone with them and they just like, they don't work at all. Having to look good in landscape versus portrait. Oh, geez. Now you're... Who uses a phone? Who is the maniac pulling that phone out in landscape mode? Freaking psychopaths. That's who. Let me pull my phone out and jump on Twitter in landscape mode. There's some poor guy at Twitter who's like, man, it's like 6% of our users do this. And they gotta try to make it look good. Oh, dang it. Ooh, I grabbed too much. All right, help a user. Saronis, me too, buddy. I've had check this out. I don't know if you guys can see it. Look at this. Look at this. It's got a keyboard. Oh, it's so nice. Get that nice lens flare on it. I can't stop using them, man. I really hope they keep making phones. I don't think they're going to. But I mean, I have this BlackBerry. It's an Android phone. It's running Android. It's no funky OS or anything like that. It's a real deal thing. And I love it. I can write emails on that thing, no problem. I can text people really quickly. I can, get that stuff rolling, dude. I have had like every BlackBerry phone probably since the Passport, and because that's when they first switched everything over to Android. So I have like a Passport, and they had this thing. It was like a slider phone. That was a mess. It was very flimsy, but it was cool because like what they did was they took the phone like this. It was an interesting design, and it was like it looked like that, and then you could slide this up, and when you slid it up, it revealed the keyboard. Total pain in the ass, janky thing. But it was for me. It was like that was a good phone for me. It ended up like cracking in half, I think. It's like it couldn't take it anymore. Oh, I screwed this up. Damn it, Craig. At least I caught it. You guys missed opportunity for OmatumBucks. What is that? Where did this come from? Then where's that coming from? Where's that? Oh. That's going to be fun to fix. I have a limited amount of time, and this is where it's going right now. There we go. You know what? We could have just done this programmatically too. I forget when I prototype. I need to remind myself to do that more, to just like make all this in JavaScript, because we're spending a lot of time just to jam values in. Where what we could be doing is just like, oh, we're adjusting a little JavaScript renderer that's going to fix it. So this one's right, yeah. Does Nokia still make phones, or are they out of the business? I cannot think of like a flagship Nokia phone. Watching from Brazil. Oh, awesome. Look at that. International. Meanwhile, there's like half of you guys that are in Europe. We don't get too many people from Brazil watching, though. That's pretty cool, man. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know if you guys know this, but Nokia, like in the mid 2000s, they were like advertising a phone through tech shows and stuff like that. So it never came. I don't think it ever got produced, but they had a phone they were working on that was going to do over the air charging, airwave. It's called airwave charging or something like that. But this is before smartphones got really big. And I think it's not feasible to do it anymore, but it was a really crazy idea. So your phone would catch like latent RF signal in the air, and it could pull charge off of that. Like enough that you could, if you kept your phone in your pocket all day, it would charge up like a full day worth of talk time. Just pulling ambient RF. Would have loved to see that. Yeah, I would love to see that today. Some of these like unphones, the ones that are just like the old school screens, like the LED or LCD screens or whatever, and all you can really do on them is make phone calls and text message. Okay. That's what we ended up with here. Why is this in a thing? That is in like a little box. Is it because we named this thing content panel? Yep. Okay. We're going to call that how-to panel. How-to. We have collided namespace. So there's all our unstyled stuff. Let's compare it to other pages really quick. Okay. Let's start off where we need to start off. Let's start spreading this stuff out. So let's get into some skis. And let's just nest this stuff as much as we possibly can, so it's really hard for anybody coming after me to read it. I'm going to just start mapping out everything all the way down. Nothing has had a group title. Nothing has had a group description. Actually, the group title I think actually has an A block. So we'll map that. Group description. Okay. Nothing inside a group description that we need to highlight. Now we get into the big boy, points, schedule. And inside of that's going to be points table. And inside of that's going to be all the fun stuff. And we have to have some differentiation for the header and some differentiation for a body row. And inside of that, we probably want to target into those divs. Then after that, we'll just have to figure out what we need. Let me make sure that's everything. I think we have one more outlier here that was the product group, product list right there. It's gonna be outside of this. Inside of that, we have a UL. And inside of that, we have an LI. Oh, jeez. And so we have a header and a not yet for these. I don't think we need to do too much work on this, but we might want to at least do the header group like that. Yo, what's up, Keel? I remember you, man. You got that name. You got that name you don't hear very much. So Enerius has something like that. Yeah, Farfield charging, what you're speaking of is a little bit differently. It's a little bit different. This is passive RF. This is like airwave RF. It's not, Nokia wasn't, basically the signal that allows you to pull a radio out and tune into something was the signal that they were using. It was this very passive draw. I mean, I don't remember the exact charging things, but it was tiny. It was like milliamps of power. And I knew some guys in college that they, big coil of a copper, you can do it. Like you can make the circuit for it. And it wasn't really Nikola Tesla free energy type. It's just that there's a very small amount of power that you can grab if you want. Wasn't Nikola Tesla free energy? I don't think there's definitely not enough power in there to turn your house on. The crazy thing is people don't understand this, that if Tesla ever was able to build the Wardenclyffe generator and really activate it, do you understand we probably wouldn't have the world we have today, because it would super saturate that whole space. It would make it so dirty. If you're trying to push electricity like that, you probably would block out television signals and radio signals and everything else. There's power in the RJ11 phone jack, yeah. And don't do that. Just as a heads up, don't do the thing like power over Ethernet or Ethernet over power. Don't do it. Makes your power real dirty. Hey, look, if anybody needs a website right now, it's the restaurants. You could make a version of Grubhub or whatever that doesn't take 35% from them. They'd probably love you. All right, I'm going to start on the title. And we'll just work our way in. Font size. Let's try 20 pixels. Not enough. 30 pixels. That's the kind of spicy meatball I want. We got to change this to be... This is not sentence case or title case. It's this weird casing you do where you drop out smaller words like the and on. So there's only... You can't really dial that in with CSS. You have to type it in. But possessive words, we probably want to pop up. Do that real quick. For some reason, I set the font to not be white, and that was a mistake. Color white. All right, that looks okay. Now I'm going to do these little links. So the link is going to pop open. Text decoration and none. Let's drop the font size. Let's put that color to that. We'll try pink. Perfect. Drop the font size a little bit more. Yeah, and then on hover, we'll do, what do you guys think? There are a lot of stuff you can do on hover. I think we'll just put a little link underneath it. Oh boy. We'll restore the underline. That's easy. Yeah, I like that. OmatumBucks just announced. What, did it finally say we're streaming? Bucksy has been having trouble. It's really slow. I don't know what's going on with it. It's very slow lately. Maybe we're in like the we hate you tier or something of it. I'm going to put some margin on the bottom of the groups. A little bit more. Let's do 80. Let's do 120. That's too much. That's 1200. Whoa, boy. And I also think that this whole group, we should probably pad in a little bit. Even though it lines up with the other one. Like it lines up with this. I feel like your content is actually starting right there. So we'll push this in to kind of match that. This is just right into the content. All right. Probably a little margin bottom underneath this guy. We can margin top it. I work with a guy once. This is the worst. Dude was like, everything has to be margined bottom or it all has to be margined top. You can't mix and match. And I'm like, listen here. This is a Wild Wild West. You margin whatever you want to margin. That guy probably is working at W3 right now. Laying down stupid rules. He was all about it. He was such a stickler. He hated it. I'm going to margin top and margin bottom this one. I don't know. I get mostly salty because of people, I guess, like that I've encountered in my career where I just want to have that little moment with them of like, nobody cares. Like, nobody is ever going to see it, guy. It's not... No, there's very few people that will look at our code and give us any sort of crap about it. And yet there's still sort of like the person where they'd be like, yeah, but what if they do? Like, nobody cares. Oh, don't do that, Greg. I was about to went to the wrong place. I'm probably teaching. There's probably someone out there that would scream at me for saying this, but it's like, it really is just about making the thing work. At least in the first run. So you guys have to understand, I'm a prototyper, so I get to say stuff like this. Like in my first run, I don't give a shit. I just don't care. I try to optimize where I can. but I mostly don't care. And for all intents and purposes, your clients are the same way. I don't care. All right, table header. Okay, div. So that's going to be a table cell, and then these guys should start paying attention. Oh, there you go. Bingo bango. Okay. In Keel, that's right. Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. You're just basically saying, hey, computer, I have things I need you to do. Hey, computer, give me a hand. So let's pop the font weight up on those. Oh, finally the font weight works. I'm going to probably color the tables in a little bit. I kind of want to make the font weight of these guys a little bit either lighter or heavier. I'll find out. Let's try really light. Oh, nope. Thought it worked. Gave me the crap again. Ah, it's too light. I feel like that's a little better. Like that, it comes off the normal font size and it's a little bit better looking. I have to give that description just a little more line height too. There we go. This isn't VS Code. No. This is Sublime Text. Okay, points table. We're gonna margin bottom of it right now because I see a place where it needs it. Let's make this look pretty. Or prettier. Pretty-ish. Let's put a background color on it. Rigba 00. Let's try 30, just a little bit of blue. And then let's start at 1. Okay, it's too dark. So we're gonna then put it down to 0.8. Let's try 0.5. Maybe 0.8. Okay. Now for the rows here, I want to do an even odd thing, but I need the header to probably stay that color. For the tables themselves though, I think I want to width these out to 100% just so they'll break the page a little bit better. I also want to do some border around it. Border radius rather. We'll go to 5 pixels. Then this is where it gets a little complicated, is how we want to pad it. I'm going to pad this in 10 pixels. Let's see what that looks like. Let's try 15. Okay. Now we need to separate the header from underneath. So I think that might have been a mistake. I'm going to pull that back. I'm going to pad in on the header instead. Or rather the rows. Oh boy. Table rows can't get padding. Welcome to 1999. So how do we have to do that? We'll line height the header to be a little bit taller. A little bit taller than that. Bullet. And then we can pad left, pad right. But we'll probably want to do that on a cell by cell basis. Nope. That's the row again. Can't do that. Let's do that. Don't love it. We'll figure it out. Well, let's change the header's background color. Oh no, why don't we leave that alone? And then we'll change the table body background color. So we'll move this all the way to white and then make it very lightweight. Because we did this in the other tables. I thought it looked great. Okay, good. So now what happens if we pad that in? I think it's going to lose that. Yeah, it's going to get funky. All right. So we need to get this off the side. So the first one needs to come off the side. The rest of them don't. So we'll have to hit a first of type selector. That's going to say find me the first one and pat it, but not the second one. So for some reason that hit, did that hit both of them? I don't think it did. If that changes anything, it didn't. Okay, good. It only hit the first one. Let's get that in just a little bit. You can see this little kind of ugliness right here, right in the corner. We have to overflow none the table, or overflow hidden. And that'll get rid of that little bit of ugliness. Okay. Let's take the table body. These rows, we want them a little bit higher or a little bit taller. So we're going to start with 30. We'll move the line height for the name stuff up a little bit. And we're going to make the font size just a little bit smaller. Let's get control over the font size, because right now it's just being set to whatever the hell it thinks it should be. On the body, we'll go a little bit smaller. Not too much smaller. Yeah, now it's starting to look really, really nice. This icon right here, we have a second one, but we might just need this same icon. Why don't we just do this exact same icon with white instead of the black? Because right now it's using a black font to do that. Give me a minute to open this thing up. We got some other stuff we have to do here, like vertical sizing or spacing or whatever the words are. That looks about right. Oh boy, what is up with that links panel? Get out of here. All right, that's the one we want right there. Let's move it up here. Let's take that, change that black to white, save it out. Just once, I'd want Adobe to remember where I saved the last thing that I was working on. Just one time, just once. The $1 billion application. I think we figured $8 billion application here. Who do we need to shame to make this happen? Who do we need to shame? How many people worked on this? Did they just stop putting their names in it? It used to be you could hit a button and see all the people who worked on it. That's gone now. Oh, credits. There we go. These are all the people. Oh, it's just going to keep going. Think about each one of these names as being roughly $200,000 a year. Each one. Guys, I'm just going to throw it out there. Rufus Dukler. I would like a minute of your time. So many people, and it just can't do that thing. Unreal. Just what we deal with, I guess. All right, let's go plug these back in. Give me that new one. There we go. Looks a little weird, but we're good. I want to give a little more spacing for the, well, yeah, let's do a little more height for those rows. And then let me see if, am I crazy? Is this like, that centering right there is vertical alignment. Let me see if I can hit that vertical line middle. I don't know if I can. I'm a little worried about that one piece. Was it because I was a dummy and I put a span in there? What I want to see happen is I want that icon to center with the text. I know how to do it with old Flexi Boy. So we could do it with old Flexi Boy. I bet there's like some crazy table self flex that you could pull off here. If we call that a flex, oh, it breaks right there. Get rid of that. I mean, is this even affecting it? It should, because it's a table cell. Unless the vertical alignment has to happen at the row level. Great. No. Well, what I can do is I can wrap that inside, and then yeah, we can do that. Give me a few minutes. There's gonna be some stuff. Flexi boy. Oh, there we go. Let's do a quick test on this one. So that is the Reddit comment. This keeps disconnecting. I got to figure that out. All right. So Reddit comment is right here. So we'd say, hey, Flexi boy. Oh, Flexi boy. We probably want to pull the span off the image, because that's not needed anymore. At least it shouldn't be. Save it. It should go to 2 lines. Oh, no. It just whatever. It just does whatever it wants to do. Then we'll do display flex. Oh, yeah. That's what we're looking for. It looks like it just dad gave up. It just gave right up. So, and Flexi boy, just whatever is inside it. We'll just do the image. Oh, not the omega, the image. I might not need that. I would need to align the items first. There we go. That fixed it. Okay. Woo. That was fun. But now we have that centering correctly versus whatever it's doing there. I don't know what it's doing there. Don't need to know what it's doing. Just need to fix it, right? Give it a little margin so it pushes that off. Okay. So now we got to go Flexi boy everything. Where you at? Right there, Flexi boy. Oh, Flexi boy. Is there an easy way to pull this off? I bet there is. Control F. Span. Anytime you see a span and an image, find all, and then replace that with Flexi boy image. Okay, and now I just have to put another, I need to close out the div a little bit quicker. Oh, and kill that span. Dang it. I am just, for my sake, gonna do this. At least it saved us a little bit of time. Oh, I could have. Yeah, I could have done multi-cursor. Yeah, too late now. We're already doing it. I'm just gonna do that. What do I care? Who is gonna look at this code? Me? We're gonna generate this all in programmatically later anyways. That's a word that you say you feel smart, man. Programmatic. Programmatic representation and generation of content. I will do find and replace for most things. But I always double check, triple check. I've never had luck doing anything but basic stuff. Like if ever I try to do that thing where you select a bunch of stuff and then use the control, use this to jump around to try to have it hit like within variables or whatever, or within content like this, I always screw that up. But at least there is a basic find and replace. There we go. All right, we'll take that. We need a comma on that guy. Now, I think for the amounts, since we've been doing the amounts everywhere else in a certain code, let's do that for these two. So we know that, sorry, in a certain font. And so if there's an amount, or I think there's another one called a cap and a conversion. We're doing those in anonymous. Cool. Gonna bump that guy just a little bit. And also, let me just letter space this a little closer together. Oh, dang it. It hit this one too. So what do I need? I need that. There we go. So this got gross right here. That's a little gross. That's fine. Just because it's probably so tiny. Oh boy. All right. Well, that's happening. We're there now. All right, let me color these guys now. We'll do every other row a different color. Where do we want to do that? Where do you do that? I think it's right here. Just gonna write a quick thing before I start figuring out what color to make it. That ain't it. And the child even. Ooh, that's got to come after this. Yeah. Oh, there it is. There she is. So let's do a background color Rigba. 0.2. Oh, geez Louise. There we go. Nice. Very nice. So we have all our little guys written here. We got a nice little space between everything. I'm gonna do a little more vertical spacing. Just bump that line height up to 40. There we go. That's looking good. So I'll fix that real quick. The text is a little light, so I'm gonna push that up just a little bit more, get a little more contrast on that text in the descriptions. Not a ton. Also, if you guys use these things that calculate, quote unquote, calculate the contrast, they don't work for accessibility and stuff like that. They're consistently wrong. You have to build an eye for this, which is hard, but you do. What are we missing? This piece, obviously, but these are a little tight. The cap and types of content kind of like bleeds together here. That's all because of this. So I'm going to do something a little bit different for that. Just say YouTube link with mention. That's a little better. It's still tight, but better. I'm curious if there's some way to tell the table to just draw this as close as it can to the left. Tables are funky, but it makes it so stuff like this is kind of organized, right? I think that's good though. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. We'll fix this whole thing. product name URL. Oh boy. So we'll just do another table there for that. We can even just do another whatever point schedule table. Might as well. Easy. We kind of leave that over there so we know what we want to put there. We could do, I think the other thing that might be smart on this would be a multiplier. So product, oops. Just to leave my note. These are basically notes, so I don't have to document later. Multiplier. That would be if we have a free product, like we have a product called Badger that we didn't release yet. But when we do, I kind of don't, it's not going to make us a lot of money. So giving somebody $5 to do that, we might not do that. We might say, okay, for Badger, if you invite somebody, it's $1. You know, it's not the same amount. So the multiplier would be 0.25 or something, or 0.2. But for something that we can make a lot of money off of, we might say, yeah, if you invite people into it and they activate, we'll give you the $10 for that, or maybe even more, you know? All right, what do we think? Did you guys see anything in here that you want to see changed? What about signing up for an unreleased product to help Q&A? Oh, beta sign up? Yeah. How would we check that? What do you think? Do you think like we just, are we going to build a whole thing for this? We could. We could say like signing up for one of our apps, right? Yeah. So, okay, let's play with this idea. You sign up for one of our apps, right? There's almost two steps of this. There is get on our newsletter. So, right, like join our whatever thing but you'll be doing that by doing this. So heads up, guys, if you sign up for OmatumBucks.cash, there will be a newsletter which will be defaulted to off, but it's going to let you know if there's new products coming out. So like you'll have to turn it on, but the thing is now we have a impetus for you to go and sign up for it, because we could say, hey, if you sign up, you go through your regular sign up stuff. When you turn your account on, it could, like in the settings for the account, we could then say link your OmatumBucks cash account. And when you do that initial link, boom, points, right? Just for signing up and activating the account. So why don't we do that too? Yeah. So we'd say right here, activate an account. And I wonder, is this only through beta? I think so. It's only through beta. And I think for something like that, that's a quick 100 points. I would say a beta or an alpha. Because sometimes we'll have that beta alpha thing where there's blurry, and sometimes the alpha will be a hell of a lot different than the beta, than the release. Would you even have, would you only be redeemable during an alpha beta and we wouldn't have one that's redeemable during release? Or would we also want one that you could get during a release? Like they could be two separate things though. Because once we start doing that, though, that's a one-time award you could get. That would be kind of interesting, because you could even have a table here. Oh boy. Oh boy. There's a big check. But we could have a table here saying, like, you have points that you can get today in the browser extension. For this one, it'd be the same thing. Like, you have points that you can get to, if you activate this beta account, you'll get points. If you activate this one, you'll get points. If you do this, you'll get points, right? I think also we're going to need a thing when we do this, the bots. Well, the Discord bot will need a thing here for saying that they activated one of these actions, so we can keep track of it. Let's see. I don't know where else we're going to stick that. It wouldn't be under redeem, it'd be under dashboard, just to make sure that this came out formatted. Go back to the tables part. Dude, it's nothing but tables right now. Right here. Yeah, let me add that. I would say give him the same 100 for a release account. What's weird though is like your alpha beta data, it probably will slam down. It probably will, like all that data will disappear. So you would have to reactivate, relink and all that. Can I make the tables a bit more to the right and the title a bit more to the left? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I got a better way to do that. Why do that like that? I see what you're saying, dude. Let me try it. Keel, that doesn't always look great. Just to temper expectations. I might pull it back. But sometimes it looks really good. Because you're kind of creating these little indenting groups, which is kind of fun. So in the how-to group, where did we pad in? Okay, we padded in on the panel. So instead, we'll pad in on the group. Oh boy, which did that. All right, let me put it back in the panel. We'll just margin left the title. Oop. Go a little bit. We could afford a little bit more than that. Just like that, right? Kind of getting about one line worth. Oh, we can do cooler things than this. Oh, we can. What if we did little lines? Give me a second. This is going to take a second to write up. Got to give position absolute to that, position relative to this, so I can talk to it. Then we're going to do a width of, let's just show the line 200 pixels. Left of, we'll say 0, a top of 50%, height of 1 pixel, and a background color red just to show it. There's the line right there, all throughout here. Now we'll left this thing all the way back. Yeah, that's too much. If we want to probably 30 or 45 pixels, we've got to walk it in. Make sure that's not going to bounce around to weird places. It will. Okay. So we're going to have to turn off the overflow on the panel. Good. It keeps disconnecting the link between the two windows. There. Okay. So now we got it there. Now we just have to walk in the width. In my head, this was cooler. I want to get rid of it. It's not going to get any better if it's white. You think that font needs to be smaller? I think it's fine, dude. We could make it, what, a third? Yeah, you could do that. We'll just leave it. I think it was fine, though. All right, is there anything else we could do? We could break the sections. So we'll do a border, bottom, one pix, solid, go with black. Let's go with white, and then walk the white back. Yep, now we're gonna have to pad the bottom of those a little bit. So we're going to get rid of some of the margin, replace it with padding. Get the same spacing, but now we can control how far down we want that to go. Now it looks funky. Now that looks funky. So let's get rid of that. Dang. That does happen. Because we put this in, and that's what screwed up this. Just use an HR? Yeah, you could. But border bottom works just as well. Or you could use pseudo elements and just do an after. Like we could do, which might be the way to do it. If we did pseudos, we can control the width. So you and after, and then content, you have to set the blank. The display, you can set the block. The width, let's say we do 100%. The height, just to show it, 4 pixels. Background color of red. And there you go. It's the same effect, but now we could say 50% wide instead of 100. You could do things like that. You can't do that with border bottom. But now we can also do things like a width of 50%. Well, actually, let's do something practical. We'll say a width of 80%. And then a margin left of 10%, that'll center it. And now we can remove some of that height. And now we can give it a different color so it doesn't look like crap. It's probably a little bright. And that's a little bit of a separation. And if we wanted to push that anywhere, we would just say like, yeah, margin top yourself. We'll start moving around. But I think it looks good without it. I don't think it needs it. Somebody once told me, like a lot of people say this too, is design's the art of removing stuff until it still works. You try to get rid of as much as you can. This is interesting to me. I don't hate it. It's interesting, and I almost want to go back into it here because this page, it's not great, but it feels good to me. This page just is funky, but we can always just make it better in the future. If that's the case, get rid of the headers on the tables. Yeah, but that's not the thing. The headers convey information. So that sort of tenet, that idea, it means more like, would you need to put an icon next to ways to earn? Would you need to put a $sign here, or does that word convey the same information as an icon would? Do you need to have this little yellow thing? Does everything in your design have a justification and a purpose? Because I can say that. I can say, okay, why is there a yellow line here? Because it's telling me that's the page I'm on. And that, so I probably could have picked either highlight or yellow line. It's more or less to catch people that over design stuff, I think. Hey, Dan. So you're asking, you've always watched me over the past couple of years and you're curious of how I started Omatum. Good question. I was working at a software incubator and it's a long story. I'll try to give you the gist of it, but I was working in an incubator and I've been working there about a year-ish. And I just started to get the itch to do my own product. When I was working there, we had a conversation with some of the people from the big corporate entity that owned the incubator. The incubator was owned by At the time, I think the largest staffing company in the world. So we were working in HR, trying to do things to better people's lives and all these kind of fun exploration projects and all that. And we had these bigwigs come in, like the CEO type people came in, and we did a brainstorming session. And they were looking for big ideas. And the reason I was at the incubator is I wanted to do big, ambitious ideas. And I figured with a company that had a budget like that, you could do pretty much anything you wanted to do. You could change the world if you wanted to. Cue the chair through the wall, change the world written on it. From, was it like Silicon Valley? Being there just was, I don't know, it was a dream job for me. These guys come in. We get to do pitch day with them in a sense. Like, I think they're there for 2 or 3 days. We get to kind of come up collaboratively with some big picture ideas. And this being a staffing company, I came up with this crazy idea. Like, I thought it was crazy pitching it, but I figured, why don't we take a shot at this? The idea I had was that the company had employed a large contingent workforce and a large factory workforce, but the majority of the money that the company made was through professional placement. That means like placing web developers and doctors and lawyers. Like those people, you get paid 20% of whatever they're making when you place them, and they make $200 or $300 an hour. So you get 20% of $200 or $300 an hour. Then you have all these factory workers that get paid like $14 an hour. And you get 20% of that, but 20% of 14 is a heck of a lot less than 20% of 200. And my idea was go through your contingent workforce, your factory workers, and provide grants and programs to establish and identify people in that group that were financially disadvantaged that needed to get education, and would take that education and go on to become a doctor or a lawyer or a software engineer or whatever. And to even do it passively, to do it like, oh yeah, we'll pay for all that. We'll pay for it and you stick to it. And the only thing you owe us when you come out of this is like 2 or 3 years of placement. You just let us handle your job placement for like 2 or 3 years. We'll get you a job. It made so much sense to me. It made sense to everybody I pitched. It made sense to the CEOs and the people in my incubator and all that. And unfortunately, it would never happen. And it made me really, I don't know what the right word is. Forlorn. I don't know what the right word is. Sad. Like, here's this company that's tens or 20s of billions of dollars. They have humongous cash reserves. We could at least have decided to pilot it and said, like, we'll do 1,000 people. We'll do 1,000 people. Like, let's grab 1,000 people from the 700,000 people that we place every year. Let's give them a full ride to college and a full ride through engineering school and all that stuff. Because if you take somebody, we would make that money back in like 2 years of placing that person, the whole cost of their college. And there's plenty of people that can't go to college because, you know, it's just not something they can afford. But instead of doing that, you know, the company I realized was just like every other, like a lot of other big companies, they're just thinking quarter to quarter. They're thinking like, how do we get the earnings per share up in the next stock report? How do we get the EBITDA down or whatever, or the EBITDA up? You know, like it's all these weird things, and they don't think about like 4 or 5 years ahead. I had hoped that big corporations, well, some do, would have more of a mindset of long-term investment with large amounts of impact. But I just wasn't at the right place. So I just kind of was at this place and thinking to myself, I really want to do something other than this. And I started talking with one of my friends there, and we came up with some product ideas. And I think about 6 or 8 months after that happened, that little pitch meeting happened, I resigned. I secured some funding, to like baby funding, like just enough to feel okay resigning. I started saving up money knowing that I was going to resign. And I resigned and started a company that was originally not called Omatum. It was called Omatic, and actually it was called MAGA before that. And it ended up becoming this giant research project that I started like 7 years ago. I think. I'd have to look at my LinkedIn to tell you when the heck I took that jump. But it's been a while. And let's see, MAGA. 2014 is when I started it. So 5 years ago. Too bad my pitch didn't take off. Oh, I know. Well, dude, it was like the craziest thing was like I could, the financial stuff made too much sense. Like I was like, it's going to make so much money. It's not even a selfless thing for a corporation to do that. It is a entirely profit driven motivation. You take 1,000 people that you're making, like what would we make off these guys? Like 40 cents an hour off of or something like that, or $1 an hour off of. And then you take them, you invest $150,000 into them. They come out and you ask them, I mean, I think I said earlier it was like 2 to 3 years of placement, but I think that's wrong. I'm misspeaking. There was a number. It was like maybe 8 years or 10 years of placement that you'd cover. So for 10 years, they have to let this company place them. And now they're going to start at a salary of like $60,000 a year, of which the company recoups $12,000. And then by the time they're 10 years out, they're making like $200,000 a year, of which the company recoups $40,000. And at that point, the company just made an additional $40,000 out of nowhere that it wouldn't necessarily have had. Yeah, I think it was a good idea. And I wish they would have really done a deeper dive into it. That's what I figured the purpose of having an incubator like that was. And sure enough, the incubator's gone now. A lot of the talented people out of there are still doing work. I know that the guy that was running it is still with that company, and he's still doing innovative stuff for them. But the problem was the incubator kind of slipped away and became like internal app development for the company rather than external product development, where we try to get market share and stuff like that. So the long story short of that is that really pushed me out to create a company. And I have this really big impression that we haven't gone as far with software as we're supposed to, that the limits of what software can do and the boundaries to which we are currently pushing those limits are very far away. And I'm not talking about things like this is not AI. This is not like some undiscovered technology. It's just that the system engineering hasn't really caught up yet, because most of the things that we want to make have to get picked up by venture capital to go that far. And I just think like we can make software that's so much more stronger, is that the right word? So much better than what we see nowadays. Yeah, Danthus, the connectivity could be better. Yep, because the core thing is like you can interconnect data that obviously makes sense to connect. Like it's just crazy to me. You have too many people competing for it right now, and you don't have companies doing well. I don't want them to either, because I wouldn't want Google to run this thing. But there's just data that really should be connected. Our life should be a lot smarter than it is. Our life is very stupid, considering we have little magic boxes in our pocket right now that can run like 1 billion calculations a second. It's very stupid for the fact that we have that. And it just seems like you could these simple connections of like showing to people how the actions that they take in their life affect their life. We humans are really bad at seeing more than like today. We're really bad at it. If you tell somebody like, I want you to do something today that's going to pay off 5 years from now, do you know what the percentage of people that do that thing are? Like 2%, 1%. But if you say somebody, I want you to do something today, they'll pay you for it today, everybody gets that. And it's like you can have something that's in the surety. It's like a completely without question. That's how it's going to work. You ever talk to somebody who's like, I wish I could play the guitar? It's like, if you want to play the guitar, you play for 30 minutes every day, and you suck for a long time, then you don't suck anymore at some point. And software helps people with that. Software has the permanent memory. It's the elephant that can remember everything. We just don't see those type of apps very much. We see a lot of apps that are like, tell me what you did today. I'll keep track of it. If you tell me, I can keep track of it. But what we need is technology that just passively tracks. We need stuff that just has sensors. That's a broad term. A sensor could take the form of a watch that you wear. It could take the form of a Wi-Fi scanner. It could take the form of a webcam, just ways to get data into a system where people don't have to interact with it. So the software, in essence, is giving you way more back than what you're giving it. But nowadays, and still, this is a hypothesis that came up with like 10 years ago, and it still holds true that nowadays users put a lot more actions into a system than they get back out. You guys are seeing it wrong. You saw a utopian view. You think this utopian view, you're hearing it wrong. This isn't about socialism or anything like that. It's about, we have technology that can do it right now. Why isn't it being done? Because you look at companies that are monolith companies, humongous companies like Apple and Google and Facebook and whatever, and they don't make stuff like this. With their giant budgets, they don't make stuff like this, because the truth of the matter is, in big companies, development moves fucking slow. It's like molasses. You look at a company that has 10,000 developers that gets outdeveloped by a team of 5. How does that happen? It's because these big companies get too worried about it. So you need a smart, small team to do things like this. If you're saying it's surveillance, it's not surveillance. That's not the point of it. The point is that, like, if you really are that paranoid about surveillance, get the fuck off the internet, because you might be called street maniac here, but in reality, you have a profile that's being maintained by one of a dozen different companies that are all independent of each other, that are telling each other, this is what he buys on Amazon, this is what he watches, this is how old we think he is, this is the health conditions we think that they're in, these are the type of products that we can send to them. This is a big interconnected thing right now that's already happening, and the net result of it is that you get served advertisements. You get chunked into audiences, and people buy into those audiences. So what I'd like to see is, I'd like to see a retooling of all these things into, like, hey, maybe we can do this a different way. Maybe we can do it a different way. Maybe we can approach this as can we solve problems through technology rather than solve the problem of making money through technology? I think we're all aligned here. But Street Maniac, your ad block does nothing. You have an IP address. That's all they need. Yeah, you should go look at, if you want to see this, go look at the way Twitter does it. You can download the data from Twitter, and you can see how they don't care if you got ad block, because they use inferred devices. They will infer it's you because you use the same router, because your IP is the same. They'll just track your ass everywhere you go. You don't need cookies and that kind of stuff are cheap ways to do that. There's way more sophisticated ways to track people online. Way more. And they're being used. You just don't know about them. Why do you think Chrome has a browser? Why do you think Google owns a browser? Why do you think, why do you think that's a thing? Because when you own the browser, you don't need the cookies. You also get to have a lot of say in how the web develops, but if it's free, you're the product. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm just saying that we've derailed this idea, though. The idea, I think that was the main idea I started with Danthus, and quickly realized it will cost a lot of money, and it will be all we need to have a lot of clean money, like in the double-digit millions, to build some of these products out. It sounds bananas, but I think that's the best I could come up with. So I still have a company making software. We're focused more on content studios now with those two guys out there who are making content for us. But for the most part, I don't really concentrate on making money with software as much as I concentrate on, I don't know, just other things, making it fun and enjoyable for you guys. I don't really, I don't know. I don't really want to get into the big tech space either. I've been reached out to by big companies before, and it just doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't appeal to me to go make a ton of money someplace just to be part of that gross machine that these people are building. All right, see you later, Keel. I got to get out of here in a minute. So we got this wrapped up. Just want to make that clear. We got this wrapped up, and tomorrow we're going to be working on I'm not going to leave right now, but tomorrow we're going to be working on the settings, which is the last little piece of this whole thing. And then we're done with this and we can move on to designing the extension. So maybe we get settings and the extension design tomorrow. No problem. And Dan, thanks for asking, man. It's nice. It's nice for me to recount that story every so often. Really is. It helps me understand why I'm here, you know? And dude, yeah, Crace, not everybody cares. And I'm one of those people. I really don't care. I use ad block because I don't like looking at ads, you know? But I don't care if they're tracking me. I know they're tracking me. I know the tracking's a hell of a lot deeper than a cookie. So it's like, what are you going to do to stop that stuff? We do need to find somebody to raid. Street Maniac, the quick TLDRs, we're making a loyalty system for viewers. So I could reward you guys with hats and t-shirts and stuff like that. But if you want to see it, if you go to our YouTube, and you click that link, and then there should be a playlist here that says Project OmatumBucks. I probably should have just done that project. I think we set that up. Yeah, there we go. So if you go to Project OmatumBucks there, you'll be able to see the episodes, and they're cut down. So it's like 20 hours of streaming cut down into an hour that you can watch, and it's pretty cohesive and all that. That's where you can go. And I'll catch you right up. So let me find who's going to be our lucky winner tonight for the raid. Everybody stick around just for a couple minutes. We're going to go find somebody. This guy's working on tractors. Tractor dev. What could that be? We're going to try to find somebody who doesn't have anybody really watching. This is the rules. Webcam, nobody really watching. Oh, that's just nobody's watching right now. Too many followers. Less than 100 followers. That's the rules. We'll find somebody. Programming, smithing, and MMO from scratch. Oh, it guy's in Spanish. It's got to be in English. Godot game dev, no games. We tried this guy before. That was no good. Do not do the ducks. No, it's gonna be a real person. Oh, there's Joel again. We could hit Joel up, but he was way too quiet. So we're gonna find somebody else. What about Joe G? Joe G seems like the guy. Uh-huh. Oh, Joe G. All right. We're doing Joe G. We'll see if this is gonna work. J. You can learn a lot from these guys that have been doing it for a long time. I bet this guy's been deving for like 40 years. You can probably learn a ton from him. Or he's just gonna sigh at his computer. All right, so the raid's gonna go in 20 seconds, guys. All right, no, 10, 5. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. Just go in there. Everybody follow him. Make him really happy. You can put a big smile on this guy's face. See you later, guys. Omatum, Greg. I better hit stop on this.